this section of the video, I'm going to teach you 3 of the most common Alt shortcuts in finance. Clicking on the Example 2 Worksheet tab at the bottom of the page, we can see we have a very simple, unformatted income statement for Example Company, LLC. In order to present this income statement to our managing director, we have to make a few quick formatting changes in order to meet industry standards. First, we'll make our navigation column, or column A, smaller, down to 1 unit in width. To do this, we will adjust the column width. Column width, as you can see, is located under the Home tab by clicking the Format option and selecting Column Width. Using the keyboard, we will press Alt, then H, then O for Format, and then finally W for Column Width. A column width box appears with the standard column width 8.43 highlighted. To shrink column A to 1, we will type 1 and then hit Enter to make the change. Notice the column has shrunk considerably. Next, we will shrink the 2 text columns, columns B and C, down to 2 units for further formatting. Again, we select columns B and C and press Alt, H, O, and W and type in 2 and hit Enter. Using the mouse is a lot slower in this case than using the keyboard. Going back to our original formatting, using the mouse, the speed looks like this. However, using the keyboard shortcuts, it is a lot faster. Pause the video now to practice changing column widths in the Excel workbook you downloaded earlier. Now that we've correctly formatted column widths, next we need to color code all input numbers as blue to correspond with industry standards. An input is a number that you type in yourself, while a non-input is a number calculated as a result of a formula. For example, $500 in revenue for the year 2007 is an input, as we can see from the formula bar. The number is a number I typed in previously. Gross profits for the year 2007, however, is a formula. Specifically, revenues minus cost of goods sold. When we select gross profits for the year 2007, we can see in the formula bar that the $400 figure is based on a formula. Inputs are coded blue in finance, while most formulas are coded black. That is industry standard. We can change the color with our mouse by clicking the arrow next to the large A icon under the Home tab. Using the keyboard, we will highlight our input cells, press Alt, then H, then the letters FC for font color. Now you can use your arrow keys to quickly locate the color blue. In this case, I'll hit down and left. You can tell as I move with the arrow keys that the golden box highlights my selection, which I can confirm by hitting Enter. Selecting our scenarios, we see that these are also inputs. Next lesson, we'll learn the shortcut to more efficiently select these cells to remove all dependence on the mouse. For now, we will select them all with the mouse. Then press Alt, H, FC, select the same color blue with the arrow keys, and then press Enter. Now, using the mouse, we can format this worksheet at a speed that looks like this. However, using the keyboard, we can also format just as quickly, if not even faster. Pause the video now to practice changing font color. All right, now we're almost ready to present our income statement model. But there's still one more step we need: borders. The Borders button can be accessed by the mouse by clicking the arrow next to the 4 square icon, located under the Home tab. As you can see, Excel allows many border choices, but for finance, you only really need to worry about the top 4, adding top, bottom, left, and right borders. First, we want to create a barrier between our dates in the top row and our revenues in the second row. We can do this by selecting our dates with the mouse and then pressing Alt, H, B for borders, and then O for our bottom border. Next, we wish to separate our bottom line, gross profits, from cost of goods sold. By selecting our bottom line and pressing Alt, H, B, and then P for top border, we have successfully separated the two. Finally, we want to separate historical data from our projections. As you can see, the year 2010 contains projections, namely, data from the year 2009 multiplied by projections in our scenarios for the year 2010. To separate our projections from our historical data, we'll highlight the whole year 2010 and press Alt, H, B, and finally L for left border to accomplish this. Now there is significant savings here between the keyboard and the mouse. With the mouse, it looks like this. However, with the keyboard, you can do it much faster. And it looks like this. And then you're finished, ready to submit to your MD. A little simple, I'll admit, but you've got the basics. And if you practice, you'll have it done many times faster than one of your colleagues. All right, the final pause. Pause the video now to practice adding borders. Now that you're up to speed, maybe you can format the worksheet like this, using the Alt shortcuts.
This can save you a significant amount of time on the job. Not only that, but Alt shortcuts can be used for any item that appears in the Excel ribbon at the top of the screen. If you find that you're using a command fairly often on the job, take a moment to investigate its Alt shortcut and memorize it. You'll find your speed increasing steadily, and most importantly, your worth will rise in the eyes of your MD and associates. The power of the Alt keys comes through practice and familiarity, and knowing them is a universal skill analysts on the street share. The more you know, and naturally the better you know them, the further ahead you'll be. And in the business of money, that's worth a lot. In Wall Street Excel's next lesson, we'll add to our knowledge of the Alt shortcuts by learning the two most important navigational shortcuts in Excel that will allow us to move through, edit, and format massive amounts of data in just seconds. Stay tuned.